Hello everyone and welcome to the Melbourne Traditionalists podcast, episode 46. I'm Mark Moncrief from Upon Hope and I have with me David Hiscox from XYZ. How are you, David?
I'm excellent. What a beautiful day it is today, huh?
Yes.
I know, we're not supposed to enjoy beautiful sunny days because, it'll never rain again. And I'm not supposed to enjoy any happiness because I'm white, but I don't care.
It's true, he doesn't care.
Yeah.
And now, we've got some things to talk about today, but we're going to come back to the big questions of anti-white hate and how COVID-19 doesn't react to the left. And what we're going to start talking about is the XYZ Conference.
Yeah, it's a big thing, hey?
Yeah, this is great. Tell us all about the XYZ Conference.
Okay, so first up, the date. It'll be from the 29th of July. That'll be a Monday 29th of July to Monday 29th of June to Friday 3rd of July.
Yep.
The time, we've talked about it possibly being from 7 till 9, or from 8 till 10 p.m. Australian Eastern Standard Time. We were possibly going to put out a poll just to see what would suit people. Just having had feedback from people already in chats, I think they'll prefer it a bit later so we can allow Western Australians more of a chance to have a listen.
All right. Yep.
So I think it'll most likely be from 8 p.m. till 10 p.m. Australian Eastern Standard Time.
Yep.
This is a conference which will be all online.
So 2 hours every night for a week.
Yes. Which is basically what we all do collectively through all the YouTube live streams anyway. Mm-hmm. Between all of the different alt media live streamers on YouTube, there's basically no excuse to watch television anymore.
Well, that's true, actually, yeah.
So the format is we will have a speaker who speaks for an hour, maybe 50 minutes. There'll be a slight introduction and a handover. Then there'll be a panel of these YouTubers who ask Q&A of the speaker, and we'll also field questions from an audience in the live chat. What we plan to do is set everything up on Rational Rise TV. Mm-hmm. We'll charge $10 for a ticket so that you get entry into
the whole week.
Yeah, $10 for the entire week. Yeah. To listen to all 5 speakers, we basically run everything through there. The 5 speakers that we have are Tom Sewell, yourself,
yes,
James Fox Higgins, Adam Piggott, and a
mystery guest.
And a mystery guest, yeah. We'll call it a mystery guest, yeah. So Tom Sewell will basically be...
I have heard the name of the mystery guest. It's quite exciting.
Yes. Tom Sewell will basically be outlining these are our agreed principles as nationalists. Mm-hmm. I'm excited because I want him to start the conference off. I think it'll sort of really set the scene really, really well. James Fox Higgins, we plan for him to talk about arts and culture.
Yep.
Adam Piggott will be talking about Christianity.
Mm-hmm.
You'll be talking about traditionalism.
Yep.
And a mystery guest will be talking about a mystery topic.
Yeah. Well, I must say, it's a pretty good lineup.
It's a great lineup,
yeah.
The people who will be speaking are people who I consider to be a great combination of nationalist leaders and nationalist thinkers.
Yep.
Yeah. And as you've outlined in your piece, the way forward, there's been a lot of toing and froing over ideology in it.
Mm-hmm.
The combination of ideology and personality seems to sort of, it's like a running circle which keeps people sort of like
we're the hamster in the wheel.
I think one of the important things is to sort of set, okay, this is the ideology, these are the things that we agree on, mm-hmm. but these are also the things that we disagree on. But we're all working together and we move forward with policy afterwards. So I'm handpicking a little bit, and there are actually a number of people who I've left out. And there's one group, I've actually spoken to the guys from the Australian Protectionist Party. I would have actually loved to have had them speak. So I've actually said, sorry guys, I want to get you in at some stage. We'll probably have to do another one. And there are a number of other people that we've dealt with. Tim Boyantan, who has been doing a lot of activism work for the Fraser Anning Conservative National Party.
Yep.
National Conservative, I can't remember which way it goes. I know Fraser was overseas.
National Conservative.
Yeah, there we go. But he's actually been doing a lot of grassroots activism work opposing mosque building and local council corruption out in Melbourne's east. I would have loved to have him on as well.
Mm-hmm.
So there are a number of really good leaders and activists who we couldn't include. But I think this is a great start. I think and hopefully it's something that we can build on.
Yeah, no, I'm really excited about it. I mean, 5 different speakers, $10, 5 nights.
Yeah.
It's it's going to be a really. I think the big thing about it is that this will probably concentrate on the ideology aspect of it.
Yes.
On what do we actually believe and why do we believe it?
Yeah.
And then in the future we can concentrate on other issues.
Yeah. You'll have to bring your own pizza because as we said, it's all online.
Yes.
But it's. I look at what all the YouTubers do. This is just sort of focusing on just this matter of it. We flog it just week in, week out, and we've got a really great loyal audience who appreciate people listening to us. I'm often surprised just at how much people actually respond to it, which is really, really great. We'll be asking them to pay $10 for a week for what they already listen to. A lot of them actually give us money through super chats, which we appreciate too.
Yes.
So we'll be hijacking the streams for a week, but also giving them something extra because I think it's one of the things about the live streams is we often just sort of talk. There's just banter and all that stuff which people like.
Yeah.
I like to listen to people give structured talks.
Mm-hmm.
So I think this. I think it'll be something which is just really, really solid for a week. And it'll be really worth people's while. And it'll be a way of bringing all the different audiences and communities together as well.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. No, I'm really looking forward to it.
Yeah, same here.
Yeah. Now, we have, we're recording this on the 8th of June, and we're just had a weekend of protests across Australia because a black man was killed in the United States a number of weeks ago.
Yes.
And we still have lockdown rules.
Yeah.
We still have social distancing rules. You can still get fined for doing things. And thousands, they say 30,000 people gathered for this Black Lives Matter protest. Tell me what you think.
It's a joke, an absolute joke. It's an insult. It's peak gaslighting, really.
Yeah.
Like the fact that even medical bodies are coming out and saying, "Oh, look, we think restrictions should still be in place, but it's okay to protest. It won't be that much of a danger."
Either it is a danger or it's not.
Yeah.
So why are we all being told? Why is everything shut down?
Yeah.
If there's no danger.
Yeah. So just in a little bit of general conversation, we've just shot down the entire logic of everything that's going on.
Yeah.
What I find interesting is what I was talking about last week, because I think I was talking about
2 weeks ago.
2 weeks ago. I was talking about my anxiety.
Mm-hmm.
And my anxiety was caused by the idea that things might be going back to normal.
Yep.
And I was pointing out, look, things can't go back to normal because normal is the slow genocide of our people, for starters.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And normal is the sinking into debt of our country, which seems never ending. And normal is living in Babylon.
Yeah.
You can't tell me that we've just shut down the entire world economy for a couple of months, and now we're all just going to go back and just everything's going to be fine, and we'll just talk about it in 6 months ago. Oh, you remember when we just locked everything down and now everything's fine again? So I also had to eat some humble pie and say, yeah, I was wrong about the whole 100 million people dying. I'm still bitterly disappointed about that. But I'm bitterly disappointed about the fact that 100 million people won't die. That's what I'm saying. I'm not disappointed about being wrong. But it's like the reason for my being wrong, I feel like has been justified. Mm-hmm. In that, like, the way the left operate, and you can say that the way that the globalist cartels behind the scenes pulling the strings operate.
Yep.
They operate from the Alinsky playbook, where they understand that to keep your activists going, you have to constantly change things up.
Yep.
Like if you think about what was going on at the end of last year, we had a Extinction Rebellion who seemed ridiculously organised, well-funded, well-costumed, spring up just automatically, just out of nowhere, all around the world.
Yeah. And that's right, they sprang out of nowhere.
Yeah. And they themselves had built up on this autistic retard from Sweden, who just out of nowhere seemed to get this amazing following. And so then after that we had these lockdowns over the coronavirus, and it's like we've just got one campaign after another, and it's always deliberately changed. Mm-hmm. And so my anxiety last week was like, why does everybody think it's going back to normal? It's never going back to normal. Everything you have, you're going to lose. Everything that we have here is going to be destroyed. It's not going back to normal. So the fact that we have people rioting over the alleged murder of a black man in America, when it goes against all the figures. Like black people are responsible for most of the violent crime, most of the killing. They're a tiny proportion of the population. Here in Australia, like the black deaths in custody the last few years have been 4 and then 2. Yes. And it's down. Yes. So the figures don't make sense. So, but the fact that
it's never about the figures. It's always about this very broad. The world's unjust.
Yes.
Well,
yes.
Duh.
Yes.
Yeah. And then they just focus on one tiny aspect of it and make it all out of proportion.
Yes.
So I saw a tweet that was actually about saying that last year in the United States, 9 unarmed black men were killed by police.
9.
Out
of a population of over 300 million.
Yeah. So the chances of it was 0.00000056.
Yes.
I actually counted how many zeros it was. Right.
Yeah.
And that was the percentage of a black man who was unarmed being killed by the police.
Yes.
It was so ridiculously small.
Yes.
And the men who have been, the police officers who have been arrested for killing this man.
One of whom is Arabic, one of whom is Asian.
Yep. One of whom is a very lightly skinned black man.
Yes.
And of course, all the focus is on the white guy. And now he was a senior officer there, so in a sense that's the reasonable thing. But at the same time, when this goes to trial, there's a good chance that they'll be found not guilty.
Oh yes, yeah. It's been found that George Floyd had underlying medical issues.
He was on drugs when he was arrested.
Yes,
he resisted arrest. That's why he was on the ground.
Yes, and he also has a very his history. Like the guy is a porn star.
Yep.
And it's alleged that from what I understand, like in reports, there are reports that he actually did a robbery where he held a gun to a white pregnant woman's belly.
I'm not sure whether she was a white woman.
Okay.
Yeah.
So a pregnant woman's belly. Yeah. So it's no great loss. So the point for me is then just to see yet again like a conveniently too well organised so-called grassroots uprising across the West.
There's the thing, is that this is what the left does, and we saw that after the mass shooting in South Carolina 2 years ago with Dylan Roof.
Yes.
Where he committed this awful crime, and they were ready to go straight away.
Yep.
Within the hour, they were ready to go. They were just waiting around. And this is one of the things that the left does, is it plans these things out, and it's just waiting for the trigger.
Yep.
It's just waiting.
Absolutely.
And that's something that we have to get good at.
Yes.
Because we're not good at that at all. And in fact, we're always caught off guard. Like, oh my God, they're protesting again.
Yeah.
Well, duh, of course they're protesting again. That's what they do.
Yes.
But also the coronavirus,
Yep.
I think, has been underplayed in this, because I think that a lot of this violence is actually because people have they've been obeying the rules for so long.
Yep.
And now they're just like, I'm not doing it anymore.
Yep. Absolutely.
And that's why, there's all these riots, there's all these, looting and burning and so forth. But another point that I would make is that in the United States, and actually you notice this in England as well, where it's also happened. Why? Who knows? Is that it's in left-wing controlled areas.
Oh, yes. Yeah.
So in the United States, it's Democratic mayors in Democratic states. And you'll see Labor areas are the ones that are taking the brunt in England. Right? Why? Because they won't act, they're in this bind.
Yeah.
They can't stop it without actually alienating the people who vote for them.
Yes.
And yesterday, so that was Sunday the 7th of June, I saw footage of the mayor of Minneapolis. And he went to the protest, not entirely white, but overwhelmingly white. And they said to him, you have to defund the police. You have to disband the police. And he said no. And they booed him. And he had to walk out of this crowd by himself. Right? He's a 40-year-old man. He was dressed like a teenager. Right?
Yes.
And because these are unserious people. They don't have serious answers because they're not serious people. And,
Was he like, hello, fellow teenagers?
I think there was a bit of that going on, yeah.
So, what I like is that you've sort of interspersed my sort of story here with, and we've expanded on these topics. So, back to me sort of seeing the riots happening compared to how I was 2 weeks ago. Now I see these riots, as we said, all just a little bit too convenient, extremely well organised. I've calmed down. Because now everything is back to normal. This is what the left does. This is what the globalist puppet masters do. They constantly change tack. Their campaigns are always illogical, and they're designed to make us crazy.
That's right. Because there's no, they pretend that this is about police brutality.
Yes.
But actually, there's nothing that we can do that would actually satisfy them.
Yes. And they always catch us off guard with this too, actually, because they always just it's always just a straight right angle or 180 degree turn another way, or 90 degree turn another way, just to a completely different topic. And so, a few days later, all us people who oppose them are still arguing against the thing that they were talking about last week.
That's right. That's right.
And then it takes a week or so for us all to assemble our forces and attack the new left-wing thing. And you can't say that we don't destroy it logically, because we do. And you can't say that we don't understand that things have to be attacked emotionally, because we do that as well. We attack them and destroy them on all fronts. But they never care. They are single-minded in their purpose. They're always zigzagging this way and that way, because they, as you talk about, they have that organisation. They already have the people, the funding, the plan, the end goal, which is the destruction of everything that we have.
Yeah.
And so, when 2 weeks ago, when it seemed like things were going to just be okay. I guess part of the anxiety was like, you can't tell me that everything I've been fighting against for the last 5 years has been in vain. That, and there's actually nothing wrong. Everything's going to be fine. The fact that there's chaos again.
Exactly.
Tells me that I'm right.
Yes.
Yeah. And so then this brings us back to the importance of the conference, because at any stage you could say, why are you putting up a conference when it looks like we're going to be going to war with China? Or why are you putting up a conference when we're all in lockdown over coronavirus? Why are you putting up a conference? We should be getting out there on the street and attacking Black Lives Matter. By the time we've organised to challenge what's going on, they will have already changed tack 2 or 3 times. So what we're doing here is going, okay, we are going to form large-scale organisations which have a singular goal, or just a handful of goals that we're going to work towards, and we're going to take a number of different approaches, because you can go, okay, there are some people who think we need to go party politics. There are some people who think we need to sort of go grassroots. There are some people who think that we need to sort of remove ourselves from society. All of those approaches are valid. I personally, I actually favour the last one. I think it's all going to collapse, but that shouldn't stop us from fighting on the other fronts as well.
Well, and I agree, and I think we have to fight on every front. Yeah. And I'm not against us having our own communities, but I think we have to realise that there's nowhere to run.
Yeah.
There's nowhere to escape.
Yeah.
And we actually have to fight.
Yes.
And we have to fight in every way, and that includes at the ballot box.
Yeah. 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 And so the idea is, okay, yeah, we're bringing in all these people together. We're going, okay, this is core ideology. These are things that we disagree on. We can all work together. A whole lot of different strategies, but we all know who we all are, and we push forward. I'm not. It's an interesting one, because 5 years ago when I started off with the XYZ, a number of us went to the Reclaim Australia rally.
Yeah.
Here in Melbourne, and it was.
Yep, I was there.
Yeah. It was the one. I didn't go to the one at Fed Square.
Oh, all right. I was at that one.
Yeah. Yep. The one that I went to was afterwards, so it wasn't. The police were better organised. It was the one outside the front of Parliament House.
Oh, yeah.
There was a big, massive police cordon, and they only let a few people inside that cordon.
Yep. And
then all the conservatives and mums and dads who turned up and wanted to be at this big rally were on the other side. Basically, in the middle, right outside Parliament House, was the main Conservative rally. That's where Black Cottrell spoke. Then there was a police cordon. Then there was an army of leftists completely surrounding that cordon. So the police were there to stop the army getting towards the main activists, but then the army stopped all the normies, the masses,
and that's why they do it. That's why they do it to get rid of the normies, to stop them from coming over to us.
Yes. But what amazed me was that I had absolutely no idea that this massive group, the United Patriots Front, existed. I saw well organised guys who were prepared to engage in a mock pitched battle with the left. There was actually there's a little lane between, I think, that main theatre opposite Parliament House, and then on the other side there's a cafe. There was a lane, and there were no police there. It was literally like a shield wall. Obviously not a shield wall, but there was a leftist line, and there was a patriot line.
Yep.
And I was like, where have all these people come from?
Mm-hmm. It was a big reveal. It was a really big moment in Australian politics.
Yes.
That, hey, there's all these people out there, and we don't know each other exist.
Yes. And so I think the Australian government shit its pants.
Mm-hmm.
And they there were Facebook groups which had well over 100,000 followers.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
They didn't gradually lose an audience as they got more edgy. They just got shut down.
That's exactly right.
Yeah.
And they did get more edgy, and they didn't lose audience.
Yes.
They were shut down.
Yes. And the full apparatus of state power was wielded against a number of the patriots. Blake Cottrell, I think Chris Shortis, and the guys who were involved in the mock beheading in Bendigo.
And Neil Erickson.
Yes. And they were made examples of, and in particular Blake Cottrell. Blair made a point of fighting it all the way through to the end. You've got one of the most effective speakers and a potential leader of a massive party, who you're literally not allowed to show his face on Facebook.
Well, on news.com,
yes,
if you go onto news.com.au, you will see whenever Blair's picture is shown, he is shown next to a Nazi flag.
Yes.
Right? It's defamation. But of course, he's just a normal working class guy, so he can't do anything about it.
My point here is, don't expect a normal way of organising. It's why I'm not too fussed when I sort of see different groups spread about, because I don't this is my opinion.
I actually think that's a good thing, that there are different groups.
I don't see one mass political organisation as viable, because I think it's been shown that the government will try to shut that down, not because we're violent at all, but because we directly oppose their interests.
Yes, and we do.
Yes. So get used to thinking outside the square. Get used to attacking in ways that aren't obvious. Get used to defying logic. Like if people see the kind of headlines that I put up on XYZ, all the satire as well, like the satire's returned.
Yep.
It's done that way for a reason. Like, the whole reason I'm here is crazy.
Yeah.
Every article that I write and every headline I put up is a protest against the fact that I have to even be doing this in the first place.
Yeah.
I'm deliberately trying to go as outlandish as possible, because I want to break that part of people's minds that thinks it's normal, because it's not. So get used to just basically operating exactly the same way that the left has, because that's what they've done. They've collectively and just gradually over the course of several centuries broken down everything that we think is normal, and destroyed it. So that's the way that we operate. That's what it will look like.
No, you're quite right. And we keep coming back to the conference. And as I said at the start, I'm very much looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to speaking, and I'm looking forward to actually being a part of something bigger than just me. And that's really what we're all after, isn't it?
Yeah.
That it's not about the individual; it's about all of us.
Yes.
Now, I think that we'll leave it there. We're nearly at the half-hour mark. Where can people find more of your thinking, Dave?
I tend to just scroll it on toilet walls. So,
Come to a good time call, David.
Come to the XYZ. www.xyz.net.au. That's what our headlines look like anyway. You see that stuff scrawled on toilet walls?
And to find out more of my thinking, you can go to Upon Hope. Thank you, David.
Pleasure.
Thank you, everyone. And I will speak to you again next week. Bye-bye.